Hey everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge podcast, episode number 133, and as always, thank you so much for joining me this week. If you are new, check out some of the other episodes on the page. All episodes are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music, so make sure you are subscribed so you can make sure you are notified for a new episode every Tuesday. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at the SkyLounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at DA13IG5EUNG. Let's get started. As you may have noticed, episode number 133 has skipped a week. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, boys and girls. I skipped last week. We are back at it this week. Another half-assed episode and on Peruse mode. If you don't know what that is, I just put my phone on the dashboard, start recording shit in the car, and yeah, unfortunately, I do not have a script ready tonight. I could blame the playoffs, I could say all this stupid shit, but at the end of the day, guys, it's all me. I don't have a script ready, so I'm gonna be trying to talk. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking out of my ass for about 30 minutes now, and so. Lo and behold, guys, we have an episode for you, episode number 133. I'm just going to be ranting about shit. So, guys, I know I haven't released a proper episode in a long time. You know, usually I put all the sports stuff, all the art stuff. And you know what? I don't know. I think motivation has really been a problem of something as of late. And it's hard to figure this shit out. It really is, man. Now, I've said this oftentimes before. You know, I smoke a lot of weed. You know, I tend to get a little too lazy from smoking in excess, and I do admit that. But at the same time, you know, there has to be a point of, man, I want to figure this shit out. But it's the same. If you do some same repeated shit, nothing's gonna change, right? Nothing's gonna get better, but we're in this weird standpoint. It's all I'm trying to say. And yeah, it's kind of crazy because I'm forcing myself to at least, you know, release a YouTube video almost every day. And Jesus Christ, I'm trying to unlock this shit in the middle of driving. So the one thing I kind of have to do right now is fuck with the setting on the displays here. Yeah, the one thing, kids, is never record and drive. That's a recipe for disaster, but I need to do this. Do it for the gram, fam. Yeah, it's something like that, I guess. But yeah, it's been a lot of torturous self-deprecating activities as of late. That's what it's been mostly. It feels like a hiatus of progress that we saw a little bit in February, and it is upsetting. It is upsetting, but it's on my own terms, really, which is a problem. And so yeah, I don't claim to have solutions. I always tell you folks, like, I tell you straight up what's going on. I don't pretend to lead a perfect life. I never claim that. I never do. But trying to just live each and every day, trying to get a little better. But it's hard. Not gonna lie, it's hard. And what makes it harder is it's all these sports happenings, you know, going around, you know. And really, guys, for the sake of this episode, I definitely want to touch base with some sports stuff. You know, we haven't talked about sports, other weird shit in a long time, right? We haven't really discussed the intricacies of the sports culture as of the last 2 weeks. So, you know, my balls are a little bit itchy to talk about that shit. And the other problem right now is I'm driving a bunch of assholes who can't fucking drive, you know, in front of my fucking way. But figuring this shit out, kids, you know, finding that balance, it's tough. But fuck it, man. You know, that's my little topic of the week right now. as we're going on this cruise Peruse, and as we're trying to just really skip around talking about different topics. And obviously, I'm going to gravitate towards sport. It's playoff season, boys and girls. Hockey playoffs are going on right now. NBA playoffs are going on right now. And let's before all that good stuff, let's get into soccer, aka football. Obviously, my Arsenal's doing okay. Nothing to go crazy about. We got a second leg of a quarterfinal upcoming on this upcoming Thursday. Huge second leg where if we win, we get to the semifinals, and that is just huge. If we can do that in Unai Emery's first season as manager, it's going to be such an incredible feat, and it's going to be a real good look for the club. And yeah, it's been kind of an up and down season for Arsenal, but a cup after this kind of contentious 2 years with the club and its fans, it's going to be something nice. It's going to be a healing process. And there's a lot of crazy football world news going around right now. Obviously, Champions League second leg, half of the fixtures are finished today, Tuesday. They finished off the Manchester United Barcelona matchup, which went in Barcelona's favor. I didn't find that surprising at all. But what was surprising was Ajax beat Juventus in a 2-leg series. That's unbelievable. An Ajax team that is just an average age of 24 or 26. No crazy superstars. I mean, the amount of money they've spent on their players' wages is incomparable to some of these other big European clubs, and they have made it into the semifinals the first time since 1997. That is absolutely incredible stuff that we're seeing from Ajax here. As for Juventus, I don't know what the hell the deal is, man. I mean, how do you have that much money, Cristiano Ronaldo, and you still cannot get to the fucking semifinals? That is appalling. And you know what? Best of luck to Aaron Ramsey when he gets to Juventus, because Jesus Christ, that side is screwy. How can you just fuck that situation up? We also have Tottenham versus Manchester City finishing up tomorrow. Liverpool versus Porto tomorrow as well. Those should be closing up. A lot of high-end drama as of the last few games there for the Champions League before the semifinals. Obviously, Europa League going around. We got a lot of good stuff upcoming in the summer. Obviously, Women's World Cup is going to be coming up soon, guys, in the summer. Euros 2020, that's next season, next year. So a lot of great football action, obviously, all year round. So be on the lookout for that. Some Seahawks news that I want to talk about, guys. So Russell Wilson. Yeah, all that doubt, huh? All that fucking doubt. $140 million for the next 4 years, altogether, 157, almost nearly 160 with his current contract, and an added value of 5 years in total. And you know what I always say, boys and girls? Never listen to fake news. I'm sure there were reports. I'm sure there were rumblings. But never say shit until it's finished. All these fucking media morons, all these media leeches getting on this shit. Oh, Russell Wilson is gonna leave Seattle forever. He's going to the Giants. Load of poppycock. Never fucking happened. Colin Cowherd is full of shit. And it's just what I say, man. It's like, yo, you guys are full of shit. And I can't believe this shit, man. Like, I can't believe that people fucking fell into this shit. Was I scared? Absolutely. Russell Wilson setting up that deadline. Off-season training camp starting officially yesterday. A lot of anxiety up in the air. But at the end of it, there was a bit of optimism for me where I said, I definitely think Russell Wilson's going to be with the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to be fine. Like, this panic is created by mainstream media who wants to create stories. It's the off season. They want to have something different to report and talk about. And really, at the end of it, deal got done. Russell's going to be with Seattle until 24, if I'm not mistaken. And at that point, he can re-up his contract again. And honestly, I think Russell's going to be a Seattle Seahawks forever. Like, he's going to be a Hawk forever. All you fucking haters, all you fucking anti-Russell people, man, I don't know what the fuck your deal is. He has to prove himself. The fuck does he have to prove it for? Like, I don't know where all this fucking quarterback criteria is coming from all these stupid ass fanboys. Like, who's your fucking quarterback that you're trying to compare this whole holy grail of standard to? Kirk Cousins? Joe Flacco? Fucking Peyton? Like, what? Why? Peyton's gone. And if you're going to even mention Tom in there, like, you can't compare people to most quarterback careers to Tom. That's ludicrous. And so every fucking debate I have with people, it's like, yeah, you pay Russell the money. The tangible talents and the last 7 years on the resume proves otherwise, like that you should absolutely pay the man. And if you argue otherwise, I'm already thinking you're a moron. Like, what is there to really argue about? I've had people that I've ran into that says, oh, Russell has to prove his worth. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck does he have to prove to you? Or anybody? In his first 2 years, he took the Seattle Seahawks to the playoffs and then the Super Bowl. And in his third year, he took us to a fucking back-to-back Super Bowl where we lost, yes. On his fucking action, yes. But if it wasn't for Russell, we're not there. Yeah, we had the Legion of Boom. Yes, we drafted most of the Legion of Boom before Russell was drafted into Seattle Seahawks. But the reality is, without a quarterback, that team was going nowhere. That team didn't even make the fucking playoffs a year before Russell came into the league. So, I don't want to hear this shit anymore. Russell signed with the Seattle Seahawks. Money well spent. I know there's going to be a cap crunch the next few years. I know it's going to suck. But guess what, guys? That's the price of having an actual quarterback. This is the reality of this business of football. Is if you don't have the right pieces, you're going to pay for it for a long time. There has been organizations without quarterbacks that have been struggling for years and wish they're in a situation like us, where they got key players in key positions, and yet they miss something in the quarterback position. A lot of teams are missing that quarterback spot. And for the Seattle Seahawks, for us to even complain about this shit, it was kind of ludicrous. And for me, reading all these articles, seeing all these fucking, media types on ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC, talking all this shit, I'm just thinking, really, guys, like, what are you talking about here? Russell Wilson isn't worth the money? Like, what the fuck are we on about right now, huh? I swear to God, man, I mean, people just try to talk out of their ass, and that's my whole gripe about the whole Seattle situation as of the last few weeks. Obviously, it's done. It's over with. Russell is with the Seattle Seahawks now. In the near future, are we going to have money problems? Absolutely. Absolutely. Trying to re-sign Bobby Wagner, figuring out Frank Clark's situation, and in the near future, when a lot of our young cats right now, that's going to be in year 2, year 3, when we get ballers from those guys, the secondary, guys like Shaquille Griffin, what's going to happen there? What if guys like Rashad Penny blooms, Chris Carson? So these are all things that we have to think about moving forward, but we got a great piece of business done with Russell Wilson. Very satisfied with that. And obviously, boys and girls, a lot of NFL news, lots of NFL drama. Even in the offseason, Antonio Brown happens to be one of them. Every time I talk about Antonio Brown, I always assassinate his character. And it's not a good thing to do, but the man's reputation precedes itself. I mean, the guy is an absolute cancer. I have stuck to that narrative. He never changes, and it's the most tiresome shit if you're an ex-teammate or an actual teammate right now. And so, all that Antonio Brown drama, jabbing at Juju, that was some real immature shit from AB, and I don't know what the hell is going to happen with the Raiders this season, but best of luck to you guys. That's a fucking handful to deal with. And That's football news, boys and girls. And when we talk about the Lakers, obviously the season's over now. You know, I remember 2 weeks ago when we released the episode in number 132, I said I was going to talk about all of the Lakers fixtures, but at the end of it, we didn't close out well. 37, 38 wins in total. Magic Johnson quit as president of basketball operations before the season ended. A couple of days later, Luke Walton was fired as head coach. So there's a lot of drama in Lakerland right now. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I don't know who's going to come over as free agent. But obviously, guys, we're not in the playoffs, but the playoffs have started for the NBA. It's going to be a wild one. And, you know, the series have already started off. There's a lot of games that's already in 2-3 games at this point. I'm not going to cover all of them. I just think of the Western Conference. I know the Warriors have, you know, got the series tied after blowing a 31-point lead last night against the Clippers. But I think that series is still going to be, at worst case scenario, 7 games where the Clippers pressure the Warriors into a situation where they're going to feel suffocated. But I think the Warriors will ultimately come out of that alive. Whereas the Eastern or the Leastern Conference, I don't see any other teams other than the Bucks or the Celtics that's going to actually make it out of that conference. I don't see any other teams. Like, the 76ers, that's an adorable fucking story all on its own. A team that's just about to implode, in my opinion. There's also, Orlando, who's a perpetual disappointment no matter what era you're in. I mean, Jesus Christ, the Orlando Magic is an absolute disappointment. Detroit Pistons is more like an attendance award. They made it into the playoffs. Whoop-de-fucking-do. They're not going to do anything. Who else you got? You got the Indiana Pacers. Congratulations. You made it into the playoffs. There's not much you're going to do. And then you got the paper champions, the Toronto Raptors, who I have mentioned multiple times. I'd never trust the Toronto Raptors. I don't care if Kawhi Leonard's there. Logistically, there is no fucking way the Raptors, you know, win the East. I just don't see it happening. There's a lot of questionable characters. Questionable plays during the postseason where, okay, cool, man, you're going to alley-oop, you're going to dunk, you're going to do all this special shit, you know, in the regular season, and you're going to be paper champions, but what the fuck are you going to do in the actual postseason? Nothing. And I've seen nothing from the Raptors to make me say otherwise. And so there you go, guys. I don't think the NBA playoffs are going to be drama-filled. And the problem ultimately with the NBA that I've mentioned multiple times is the lack of parity. And this lack of parity is what's killing the competition, because the Warriors are significantly better than everybody else. Are they going to have issues this postseason? Absolutely. We've seen it against the Clippers, blowing a 31-point lead. But at the end of the day, they're still the Golden State Warriors. They are the team to beat. They are back-to-back defending world champions. So I just don't see the drama. I don't see the tension, unless you're a Celtics or Bucks fan. You know, if you're one of those fans, you'd have to be thinking to yourself, man, we definitely got a chance. We can definitely, you know, get the Warriors in 7. I definitely do think that there's a lot of depth there with the Celtics. I think Boston is a very under-the-radar team. A lot of people tend to think Boston won't do the business. I hate Boston as a Lakers fan, but I think they're going to get the job done. Whereas the Bucks, it's Giannis's year. Giannis is breaking out. I never understood this argument this season of Giannis not getting the MVP. He absolutely is. The way he's been playing, the way he's been dominating, it's been inspiring to watch Giannis play and to see the level of growth this guy has been exhibiting throughout his last few years. So I really hope it's those two teams versus the Warriors, and eventually the Warriors falling down. My ultimate fanboy hope next season is the Lakers obviously make it to the playoffs, yes. But who actually takes down this Golden State menace in the playoffs should be the Dallas Mavericks, because I believe the Dallas Mavericks is going to be the new dynasty moving forward. I don't know about you guys. I just have this weird feeling. Luka Doncic is a special kid. You tie him with Kristaps Porzingis for the next 4 or 5 years, that's a potential dynasty you got there. Lots of great pieces over there in Dallas. I know they can't close out games sometimes. It's been a tough season for them, but I see a lot of teams that's in the bottom right now that are going to make it out. I don't know about my Lakers, which is disappointing. But hey, it happens. Disappointment happens, and that's how you elevate yourself to being a sports fan. You face disappointments and you face the happiness when you win. And when we move on to the next topic of the Vegas Golden Knights, obviously we got a lot of happy things to talk about. We're in the playoffs right now, boys and girls. As you can recall, I am driving over to the T-Mobile Arena, if I haven't mentioned it already. I'm actually heading into Game 4 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, round 1, Vegas Golden Knights versus San Jose Sharks tonight. Vegas has taken a 2-1 series lead after losing Game 1 at San Jose, and then winning the last 2 games in San Jose and in Las Vegas in Game 3 at home. And so the hope tonight for Game 4 is for the Vegas Golden Knights to be able to cap off the home ice advantage tonight, grab the win, and finish the job at Game 5 on Thursday. That's the ultimate hope here, guys. And so for the Vegas Golden Knights, it's playoff mode, and honestly, I don't like going too micro in these podcasts. Obviously, when I talk about these sports teams, I like to do my YouTube reviews and detail how the Vegas Golden Knights have been playing. So make sure you check out those reviews, guys. I know I usually say that in the South earlier, but all match reviews and analysis are on the YouTube page at the SkyLounge, guys. So it's obviously all there. I'm always going to mention it. But yeah, Vegas Golden Knights in the playoffs, and the NHL playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs are in full gear. Lots of great stories right now. The Tampa Bay Lightning's President's Cup trophy winners, they are in the midst of getting swept. There's a game going on right now, Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, Game 4. Potentially they could get swept. We can see at the end of this week what happens, but lots of stories of intrigue. Also, the Penguins on the verge of getting swept 3-0 against the New York Islanders. I believe other series right now, 2-1, Toronto leads Boston. Nashville leads Dallas 2-1. I believe, I want to say St. Louis leads Winnipeg 2-1. Calgary leads, I want to say Calgary, or no, Colorado's leading Calgary 2-1 right now in that series. And Washington is leading the series against Carolina 2-1. So there's a lot of intense drama in the playoffs, obviously, but it's only getting juicier. Playoff hockey is really the bee's knees, guys. It is the time of the year where the physicality of the play, the technicality of it, every aspect of the play of hockey and the game just becomes so much better. And I'd highly implore everybody to check it out. So playoff hockey, go Knights, go! Let's get that shit in. And again, guys, I'm just bringing up all these news at the top of my head. It's really hard to just kind of section these out, but we also have to talk about the Dodgers before we get shit ended. We're actually almost to the parking lot here near the T-Mobile Arena. But with the Dodgers, it's been an okay start. There's been a bit of a slump this month, but lots of crazy action, lots of home runs. I mean, Cody Bellinger has hit, 8 home runs at this point in the season. Guy is a home run monster right now. Clayton Kershaw is back in the lineup. Great to see him pitch. And it's just going to be a lot of slow process stuff, in the upcoming months, upcoming weeks. And that's the part of baseball that you have to kind of enjoy, I guess, And so that's some Dodgers news. Obviously, guys, I didn't do any film, album, or, writing of the week this week, unfortunately. And yeah, it all comes down to the fact that I haven't been scripting. I've been a bit of a lazy cunt about this shit, and I do apologize about that. But hey, we're gonna figure this shit out day by day, because man, playoff mode gets me a little too fucked up think logically, to think in a rational way, so to speak. So, boys and girls, I'm not gonna lie to you. Next week, I'll get my shit together. I'm not gonna lie. I think by either this weekend or next Tuesday, there is gonna be episode number 134 that's gonna be out, guys. And I apologize again if you guys have been seeking new episodes, but it's been kind of a weird thing. We're gonna try to figure this shit out. So, boys and girls, just be tuned. And thank you so much for joining me this week. And make sure you're subscribed so you can get notified for a new episode every Tuesday. Fucking follow me at the SC.Y and all the links in the description below. Fucking, I don't know, SoundCloud, iTunes, music. Dude, you know the fucking drill. You know how it is. Stalk me on Snapchat at DA13IG5UNG, at the SC.Y and other shit on other platforms. Wasn't good, right? But hey, we'll get back at it. Jesus fucking Christ, guys.